Minnesota Vikings back at it again on Wednesday, the second padded practice of training camp, and we got some highlights. We got some lowlights, so we got everything in between, so let's get started. Will Rag at Sports Illustrated. Kirk Cousins says playing tennis in this offseason has helped him become more agile, mobile, agile, hostile in the pocket, although he acknowledges he'll never be Lamar Jackson. By the way, Lamar Jackson got yoked, man. He had a 25 pounds of muscle. He looks jerked. Like, durability not going to be an issue there. But, yeah, Kirk Cousins like in tennis. So we got John Kirkenrow just out there. 60 love. 45. I forget how he keeps scoring tennis. Anyway, burn this into your retinas. Like, if this is going to be the last thing that you see on this planet Earth, before you go blind, breathe it in. Extra. Kirk Cousins points to Johnny Munt, and Zach Davidson as important pieces with Irv Smith Jr. out. Cousins says he lean on him on Munt because Munt comes from the Rams system. And I don't think all is lost with Irv and the thumb issue. Hopefully he's going to be ready to go to start training camp. Hopefully he's up to speed on the offense. Not getting reps in training camp and preseason is going to hurt him. But Johnny Munt, familiar with the offense and terminology. Kevin O'Connell probably didn't change too much of the verbiage coming over. Also, Zach Davidson is a physical freak. Kirk Cousins on tight end Zach Davidson. I see a lot of ability in him, a high ceiling, a desire to work and get better, similar to how I felt about Tyler Gronklin a few years ago. And, Kirk Cousins felt the same way about Brandon Dillon, the Marion Barbarian. But I do think that Zach Davidson is a physical freak. I think that he has some big-time potential as a fifth-round pick. Just didn't see it last year, but now he may have some massive opportunity. And he is... he's got the wingspan of a condor, man. And also, if Jordan Berry sucks in punting, whoo, he's in. Arif, padded practice, Irv Smith predictably not present. King Kene and Wangu working with Trader without pads. So that's something that's been flying under the radar. Kevin O'Connell on Tuesday said that it is a lower leg soft tissue injury, so it could be like a calf, something like that. I like that. So in training camp at this point, taking it very, very easy with injuries and being overly cautious, that's fine, but would like to see some progress. Because I'm right now, I'm starting to get worried, man. King Kene is an absolute weapon, plus he missed most of preseason training camp last year after having a hyperextension in his knee on the first freaking kickoff of preseason games last year, blah, blah, blah. Worth keeping an eye on Chris Boyd in pads and helmet, but also working with Trainer. Not sure what's up. His participation has been limited every day. So it's something to note. Vikings cornerbacks, the rest of them looking pretty damn good. Right. And then also the running backs, Dalvin and Madison participating in walkthrough today. This is from Kramer Strib. Both seem fine after sitting out following apparent hand-finger injuries during yesterday's practice. So, again, being overly cautious. It does seem like Dalvin's is a little bit more serious than Madison. Madison had a full normal practice day. Dalvin was quasi-limited. But, again, it's a Wednesday before even the preseason games are in, so it makes sense to just take it easy. Will Raggets. Good start to practice for Patrick Peterson in drills, intercepted Kellen Mond, and then added a pass broken up. Now, the interception was on Justin friggin' Jefferson, as well as the pass broken up was in front of Diamond Dan Tracena. So he's running the full gamut. And Patrick Peterson off his veteran rest day. He's revved up, ready to go. Also, Vikes Insider, rookie OG Ed Ingram holding his own during team drills today. He's running with the second team as the second team right guard. So Jesse Davis is back after his veteran day yesterday. But Ed Ingram, I think Ed Ingram is going to start. I really do. I do think that Chris Reed is going to start at center. Maybe Jesse Davis starts out of the gate at right guard. But if he doesn't hold his own, I do think that Ed Ingram, they're going to start working him in. Sort of like how they rotated in Darisaw to start his tenure with the Vikings. I think you could see that with Ed Ingram. I think that he's showing well enough that the Vikings know that they got a player on their hands. Also, Insider. Kellen Mond connects with wide receiver Tristan Jackson for a 20-plus yard gain against the first-team defense. Nice throw from Mond. A nice little camp from Tristan Jackson as well. Him and Myron Mitchell, even though Mitchell had some drop issues on Tuesday, I think that they are rising up. And it wouldn't shock me at all if they end up being wide receivers 5 and 6, respectively, on this team. Also, Kellen Mond did not have a great day. Slinging Sean Mannion had himself a day, although they both had ball control issues. Mond had a couple of fumbles. Mannion had one, but Mannion, respect, had some nice connections down the field. Sean Borman, Oli Udo down the fort against Daniil Hunter in individual drills. Now, that's the thing about Oli Udo. where one-on-one, he's perfectly fine. He's got long arms. He's got the man-sized strength. He probably has the best anchor of any offensive lineman on the team. And I said at the time, moving him inside, his long arms may actually work against him because for interior offensive linemen, center and guards, short arms can actually be a plus because you have better leverage. You're not using as much strength to keep a defender at bay. And now if a defender gets inside, gets into your pads, you're able to get your hands in and able to use your leverage to get them off, get the hands off you. Whereas if you have long arms, I mean, that's a long ways around. Also, if you do have long arms and that defender gets into your chest, you're more likely to grab around the outside. Hence, Oli Udoh getting a lot of holding penalties. But that's, of course, anecdotal, purely just like shooting from the hip. But Oli Udoh, I think he could have some value as a backup right tackle specifically. We saw last year, maybe not so much left tackle, but as a backup right tackle, sure. Will Raggets. Highs and lows for Zach Davidson in red zone 7-on-7. Catches a touchdown on Harrison Smith from Kellen Mond on one play and then drops a pass that gets picked by Patrick Peterson off the deflection on the next. So Patrick Peterson racking and stacking up the interceptions. And I'm not too worried about that. I do think that Davidson is going to be a force and a factor. I think that he's going to be like how they should have used Bucky Hodges a couple years ago. How they should have used, what's his name? He's a tight end from Miami. He's like one of Chase Ford. Nailed it. So we are connoisseurs of Vikings backup tight ends. But yeah, so the previous regime, they take this beautiful move tight end and then they just try to jam him in line to be a traditional tight end. That doesn't work. Do what your players do well and hide what they don't. How it should be. Thomas and Kellerman picked off by Patrick Peterson, blah blah blah. So that was the Zach Davidson one. Andrew, I wouldn't even call it Mond being picked off. It was more Davidson dropped it. Boot Jr. locks up KJ Osborne in the red zone, forces an incompletion, and then stares down the crowd after the play. Again, I love the huevos. I love the swagger of Andrew Boot Jr. He's coming in and he does not give an F. Like he is chirping. He is got that alpha dog attitude, something that we loved in the draft process. Now, a lot of draft reports will say that player XYZ at cornerback will have a dog attitude, but Booth just lives it, man. He absolutely has it, and I love it. I just adore it. It's something that we haven't really had since Antoine Winfield. Except Winfield wasn't a chirper. He was just a tough dude, pound for pound, probably one of the toughest Vikings in franchise history. But Booth. I like Booth, man. I like a Caleb Evans, too. I think the Vikings got two damn fine rookie cornerbacks. Extra. Kirk Cousins with an underneath pass to Zach Davidson that he wrestles away from Harrison Smith. That's a first down. Hell yeah, Zach. Shouts the quarterback. Now, Hellgate is going on because there's conflicting reports from the local media, local beat writers that who said hell. Now, I don't think Kirk would say hell. Even in the heat of battle, I think that he would say heck. I don't know. Hell, heck, gate. It rolls along. Whatever. I just can't wait till First Take gets this. Kirk Cousins is not a leader because he said hell. That's exactly what's going to happen. Stephen A. Please. Arif. Good day for outside linebacker Andre Mintz. Wins pass rush drills and one-on-ones and two stunt twist drills. And then finishes off the day with a deep downfield pass deflection against Zach Davidson as Kellen Mond tried to mount a game-tying drive. Earlier, Mond underthrew Smith-Marset deep. So they did some situational football. Cousins and the ones, they kicked a game-winning field goal that we'll get to in a sec. And unfortunately, Kellen Mond and the twos went 4 and out. It's whatever. But Andre Mintz was a guy who came over from Denver, a familiarity with Ed Donatel, and he was a UDFA out of Vanderbilt, and he made the 53 last year, so he is a name to watch, especially since it does seem like guys like Janaris Robinson struggling to get a little bit of traction. We got guys like Mincy and Zach McLeod starting to rise up. Yeah. And then Vikes Insider, Blake Brandel is playing left tackle with the first team offensive 2-minute drill at the end of practice. Christian Darrisaw was holding his right arm wrist early in practice. So I haven't seen the Darrisaw injury corroborated, but if it's something minor, again, at this point of training camp, you're going to be overly cautious about it. What is really interesting is that Brandel would be left tackle right away, where, yes, he has been working as second team left tackle, but the fact that they love and trust him, I like it because I really like Blake Brandel a lot. He was a 6 offensive lineman in heavy packages last year. He was was he a 5th or 6th round pick out of Oregon State a couple years ago? It doesn't matter. Really doesn't. But I think that we said that he is a guy that's been rising, and I think that he could be the swing tackle filling in for Rashad Hill. Hopefully a better version. Extra. Dalvin has definitely had his reps reduced the day after his finger injury, but he's still gotten a few carries. Madison has essentially been RB1. That's why I think that Madison's injury was a little bit less than Dalvin's, but I mean, just being precautious at this point. Dalvin's been getting his share of work, and plus he's been looking good because of his finger injury. Charlie bit my finger. Arif. Greg Joseph nails the game-tying field goal kick after Cousins lead a one-minute situational drill downfield with no timeouts. 39-yard kick as time passes expired. Will Raggets. Greg Joseph went 8 for 8 on kicks to end practice, ending on a 58-yarder. That was good with a distance to spare. That's right. Third leg Greg. He's fired up, man. All that hype for Matt Daniels, he's panning out. And he's got no competition. Don't care. He's still got the heat on himself. And like we said, minus the Cardinals kick last year, Greg Joseph actually had a damn fine season. So the Vikings hopefully have that kicking issue solved, but whatever. But that's it. Oh, that's not it. That is it. Woo! Wednesday, Vikings practice recap is in the books. They are off. Let's bring this up. Zoom in and enhance. They're off tomorrow. They're back at it on Friday. Another padded practice. Same thing on Saturday. So enjoy the day off. Stay out of the heat. All that stuff. That's probably why the Vikings were hooting and hollering when Kevin O'Connell was talking, breaking them down at the end of practice. Like, hey, you got a day off tomorrow. They're like, woo. That's right, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Must support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.